Lovely.
Okay, let's
Perfect.
start. Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to our Midwife Live Talk. Please note that this session is recorded so that you can revisit it later. We are very, very happy that you've joined us today for this very special session about labor begins, knowing when to head to the hospital. It's a topic that so many parents have questions about, whether you're expecting for the first time, second or third, supporting your partner, or just curious. This is the perfect place to get real evidence-based answers in a relaxed and supportive space. So, movies, when you watch movies or television, they make labor often look like an emergency action scene. So water breaks
Dramatic.
in the cinema or the supermarket, and then there's a frantic race to hospital. But in reality, labor actually usually begins much more gradually and calmly, and there's quite a bit of uncertainty around early labor, recognizing what real contractions are, timing them, deciding when to stay home and when to head to the hospital. So tonight's session is designed to help make that process feel a bit clearer and more manageable for everyone. Before we dive in, a very quick thank you to our amazing community, to you. Your questions and stories make these talks so valuable. If you're new here, my name is Anna King. I'm a mom of two and your moderator. Alongside me is the wonderful Karin Siegler. She's a registered midwife in Germany and Hong Kong with over 28 years of midwifery experience. She is currently based in Lagos, Nigeria, bringing a wealth of cross-cultural expertise to our conversation, which we are very grateful
Absolutely.
for. Um, so hopefully when we finish this talk, you feel empowered about your own birth journey and feel a little bit more prepared. So let's try to make this very interactive. Feel free to raise your hand and unmute yourself. You can switch on the video at any time. Actually, if you're comfortable, please switch it on now. It's so nice for us to see your faces. This is not a presentation, but actually rather kind of like your little private prenatal class. So chat away. And if you're feeling shy, then just put the question in the chat and I will read it out so Karin can answer your questions. We'll aim for the session to be 45 minutes, maximum 60 minutes. And yeah, without further ado, I will start with the first question, and then I'm relying on everyone here to put to follow up with all of the questions on their mind, or if they want to share something from a previous labor, then obviously that also is very welcome. So, Karin, my first question to you is, what are the most common signs that labor is truly beginning? And does labor always start after like the water breaks? Because that's how most people probably associate labor with.
Yes, the water break is actually that what you see in the cinema with the dramatic flow on water. It's yes, so that's actually only 1 out of 10 women start with a water break. So most likely you might start your labor with contractions. And the thing with the contractions is we had a few talks already about Braxton's contraction. We have pre-labor contraction. We have labor contraction. We have so many different type of contractions. So it's very hard to know. So what actually are the real labor contraction? And this is the question the couples ask at the beginning when I do a birth course. So when do I go to hospital? And this is very difficult to answer because nature or your body is very smart. It's not that labor just start out of the blue and you sitting having coffee or dinner with your husband, with your partner, and then you realize, oh yeah, this is now a labor contraction on this. Okay, we wait for the timing, then we go to a hospital. So what happens many times is that at the end, when you move towards due date, actually about a week ago, 10 days ago, sometimes 2 weeks before your due date, your body slightly starts to transition from pre-labor contraction into labor contraction. And the feeling is absolutely the same thing. You just feel labor contractions are not painful at all at the beginning. The only sensation you feel physically is your tummy is a little bit firm, your belly feels firm, there's a slight tension, but more or less the same you already felt the last days before. And what your body's trying to do, maybe there is a labor contraction, and then for a couple of time, and then it moves back into pre-labor again. So it is not that you switch on the button and a light, and yeah, now we are in labor, and before we are in pre-labor. This is a transitioning stage which goes back and forward. And the reason why we have that is actually very smart, because as soon you know you're in labor, what's going to happen is you start to get excited, you start to get nervous, your pulse is getting up, your blood pressure is, oh my God, you're getting excited. So we have stress hormones, adrenaline, cortisol kicking in our body, and the hormone which actually activates and starts the contraction, it's the hormone of love, oxytocin. You have heard that many times. It's only available if you are not stressed. What you bake oxytocin slightly, the feeling is the same. And if you remain calm and everything is okay, it will continue with contraction. But as soon you think, oh, I think this is labor, this is what's going to happen, then everything is going to stop and goes back into pre-labor. So if I say the feeling is, or when I say the feeling is the same, how do we actually really know this is pre-labor and this is labor? And before we started our talk, I asked Anna, or Anna said, I don't know when to go to hospital. I have 2 kids and I don't remember it anymore.
I don't remember.
So
I've given birth twice. I went to hospital the
yes,
third time. I just don't remember. This is so
and you
ridiculous.
did 2 lessons with me about going into labor. So the thing is the timing. And the timing, what you learn usually in your birth class is, when contractions are every 10 minutes or every 5 minutes and they last for 1 or 2 hours, this is labor. But honestly, it's not about the timing. It's about the duration of the contraction last. And if you think about how amazing big your uterus is, where your baby is in, starts below the rib bone, going down to into the vagina. So this huge, amazing muscle, when it starts to contract, it usually starts to contract from the top, from the fundus, from the close to the rib bone, and the contraction is going down towards the cervix. And this contraction of an uterus takes around 40 seconds to 60 seconds. So 40 seconds to 1 minute. And this is the topic where we put our eyes on. If every single contraction you feel, and if it's just a slight tension, is more or less exactly between 40 seconds to 60 seconds of duration, then we call this a labor contraction. Everything what is shorter is pre-labor. So let's say it's just last 30 seconds. This is not labor contraction, because then the contraction, which starts on top of the uterus, do not reach down there as the cervix. It just stops on the halfway and relax again. So there's no reason to open, or there's no sensation to open the cervix. So we focus on to the frequency. So usually if you have something regularly coming exactly, and the duration is exactly always the same timing. And it's not just pre-labor when contractions are shorter than 40 to 60 seconds, it's also when they are longer. Many times when you are tired and at the evening time, you feel your tummy tight, maybe for about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. This is not labor. Then we only see a certain area in your uterus, which is contracting, pushing and correcting the position of your baby, bringing it into the pool position, the best start position, but it's not that the whole uterus contracts. So answer your question, long talk short, check the duration. Download an app. There's so many free apps and you do not need to pay for it. There's some small advertising in it. Whenever you feel something down there, press a button. It starts. Check is it 40 seconds to 60 seconds. And if this is continuously going on, and not just one or two, and then the other one is shorter, and one or two 40, 60 seconds, and then it's longer, this is not labor. This is not labor. So it's really the duration of the talk, of the timing, yes.
And so once I've established, oh, okay, these contractions are kind of like always like between 40 and 60 seconds, and they come, in certain intervals, like how long can you stay at home with this, and when should you start to think about heading to
Going
hospital?
to hospital. Mhm. This depends first where you live. It's a different talk if you're in Discovery Bay or live far away and you have to take a ferry. Depends how far away you are. So usually, if you reach your hospital in around 30 minutes time, then going to hospital and your contractions are every 5 to 6 minutes, it's completely okay. It's absolutely fine because I know many clients get told go to hospital when it's every 10 minutes, but every 10 minutes it's only 5 to 6 contraction in 1 hour. You actually do not realize something is going on, and this is extremely very early. So the chances that this is might be just pre-labor is very likely. So going to hospital, if you say, okay, it's about half an hour or 45 minutes, going there every 5 minutes for about 1 or 2 hours, you have your contractions every 5 minutes. And again, everything your contraction lasts 40 to 60 seconds, then it is okay. If you start your labor with a closed cervix, in case your doctor told you from the last checkups, your cervix is already 2 centimeters open, or 1 centimeter is not, it's okay, but 2 centimeters or 3 centimeters open without contraction, definitely then you go earlier. You also go earlier if you're not feeling safe at home, if you think, I don't know, it's not there yet and the timing is not, I don't know, 40 to 60 seconds or not every 5 minutes, but I'm not feeling good, go earlier, definitely.
Okay, so listen to the gut feeling if you feel more
Gut,
safe.
yes,
Yeah. But
yes.
where's is there any downside of going to the hospital too early?
Yeah, downside I would not say, but I think we all know when we talk now, for example, about Hong Kong. In Hong Kong, we have a very high induction rate. And when I moved to Hong Kong many years ago, I was surprised in first that labor in Hong Kong seemed to be way longer than normal women give birth in other countries. So when I heard, oh, I was in labor for about 20 hours or 24 hours, so this long duration on staying at hospital, or yes, I went to hospital, but my contractions were not strong enough. And then they had to induce me. Hold on, but you started at home with a contraction naturally, and they were not strong enough, so they induce you. So this going to hospital too early is sometimes a little bit a tricky thing because in Hong Kong, whenever you show up close to due date with contraction, normally, they will not send you back home in case it is pre-labor contraction. So think about what I said from the beginning on. You have a few, maybe a little bit longer ones, labor contraction 46 seconds to 60 seconds, but then the other one are still pre-labor. And because you're getting nervous and you're stressed, oh my God, now baby's going to come, I have to go to hospital, then maybe the let's call it the good one, the birth contraction, they will fade away. And then we just have the pre-labor contraction. If you usually in Germany, if you show up and the labor ward with those contractions, then and the cervix is not open yet 3 centimeters, they will always send you home. So even if you come 3 or 4 times at night time, you say, it's good you're here, let's check the baby, I will check the cervix, but everything is okay, wait at home. So you join the hospital way later on. In Hong Kong, they keep you. And then because many times the contractions, they fade just for the fact that you are not in labor yet. You just went a little bit too early. It went back into pre-labor. So this is the reason why they say, okay, let's maybe continue with an Synthotrip. Let's support you. You have contraction. Yes, I can see, but they are not long enough. They are not strong enough. They have to be a little bit more efficient, and we can help you with a Synthotrip. And then actually it's an induction. And this is if you're looking, I'm not saying induction is something bad, but if we talk now about this, and if you want to work with your own contraction, then make sure the timing is really, really correct. And yeah, this going too early is most likely a topic, because I know many women, especially with the first time mom, first time being pregnant, they always expect, I know the baby's coming earlier. This is the sentence for all women, say the same thing, it will be earlier. Most of the time, if it's your first baby, 2/3 of all women give birth after due date, and only 1/3 of women give birth before due date if it's your first baby. Second baby, it's the other way around. So, but everyone will text you up. Do you feel something? Is something going on? Your partner is asking you. So there's a lot of expectation and pressure, and you're constantly also checking and feeling your body. Oh, maybe this is a contraction, maybe not. So you're always focusing, and we know that when we always focus on something in our body, then finally we overinterpret it and we overfeel this, and the sensation is getting stronger than it actually is. And this leads to, oh, maybe let's go. And so accurate timing, not because I'm German and I want it very accurately, it's also because it makes sense. It takes a while until a labor contraction travels all the way down to open the cervix, and everything what is shorter or longer is not labor.
One of the participants is asking, can you refuse the induction if it's not an emergency or absolute medical necessary and you're just in pre-labor?
Absolutely. You know, your opinion always counts, because if the topic, if your doctor is only talking about the contractions and you do not have a water break, then definitely you can wait. The thing is that sometimes you start with labor contraction, and this is the thing, but because your stress system is really flaring up and it's getting active, and the labor contractions stop, and they might come back maybe a day or 2 days later. So you do not want to stay, or they will not allow you to stay just, in a bed, and you know how expensive hospitals are or how crowded the public system is. So they want to see something going on, actually.
Yeah.
You always can refuse induction, definitely, as long as there is no medical reason behind. But it's sometimes really tricky to say, I want to go home, because this would be the other option. And if it's Hong Kong, you say, can you check me, and you are admitted. It's sometimes difficult to go back home, and they say, yes, it's okay. So that's sometimes the topic, and this is why this question is so important. Are you really in labor, or are you not in labor? Once you're there, 90% of all clients, they stay there, and they are not strong-minded enough to say, okay, then I go back home, because a hospital will say, you can wait another 12 hours and see what's going on, but then you are still there, and then you're already in this flow.
And they want to move things, because the follow-up question was, what is the purpose of a hospital inducing you just to move labor along? It's the cost of having so many patients there. Yeah.
Yes. Why they offer this is actually because the induction in Hong Kong is very, very common. Actually, like I said, it's 60 to 80%, depends on the hospital you are. It's a very high number. So for them, it's also called like a natural contraction. They say, where's the problem? You just came in because you have contraction. I did a monitoring with you. I see contraction, but they are weak. So why can I not help you and support you getting this baby out? But they are not labor contraction, they are pre-labor contraction. And this is a little bit a topic, because they just want to move things. It's not that they are bad and they want to do something about you. They just want to support you. You're here. You actually 2 days before your due date, I help you to get this baby out. It's something positive what they want to do. But if you do not want an induction, then make sure you're not going too early to hospital.
Someone else is asking, how long can you stay home before going to hospital after water breaks to be safe? I saw some people online stay home up to 24 hours after their water broke.
Yeah. Water break is a little bit a different topic. So when your water has gone, the first thing is, let's imagine you're out for a beautiful dinner with your partner, and then you're making a face and say, oh my God, I think, my water is gone. First thing is you go to the restroom and check the color of the water. So usually these days, many women love black, dark underwear, so you cannot really tell the color of the discharge. So make sure you either have a white panty liner or you really can tell the color. If everything is clear and it looks like water, absolutely fine. It is absolutely okay. You can finish your dinner and you can slowly go home. And then what I usually like and what I recommend is at least to inform your birth partner, the hospital, that you have a water break, but no contractions yet. And normally, if you say, I would like to stay at home, is that's okay. They even say in Hong Kong, doesn't matter if it's private or public, they usually say, yes, that's a call. But after latest 12 hours or so, they ask you to come in, or they give you a time that they want you to come. Normally, after a water break, contractions kick in the first 12 to 24 hours. But the risk with a water break and no contraction is that infection can start, because now the seal is open, the way from outside world, bacteria can move up towards your baby and they can create an infection. And to find this stage very early, this is why they need to take a blood sample from you, and they have to do a vaginal swab test and to see if you have any Streptococcus B, then definitely go to a hospital early because you get some antibiotics. Same to see there are different bacteria around, just to make sure, okay, this is the stage now, and let's see how it is in 6 hours. So if we see the infection parameter kicks up quickly, then a smart doctor will tell you, because your infection parameter reacts already, I would love to start with either antibiotics or we can think about an induction. Normally, you have 24 hours after water break before you go for an induction if all infection parameters are 0. And for this is for every hospital a little bit different. They might tell you, come in, let's do a blood test and a swab test. But they are waiting with the induction and give you usually 24 hours in both hospital, public and private.
And what if, because you said it's important to look at the color, like what else
Yes.
what
Yes.
else could you look at if you have like a white
Yes.
pair underpants?
Sometimes,
What else could you
yes.
see?
Sometimes it can happen that it has a stain color, like a greenish or darkish greenish color. This happens when babies poo into the amniotic fluid. And because the poo has a very dark blackish color, dark blackish greenish color, and this happens when babies are doing some funny stuff. Sometimes, the space in your womb is very tiny, it's very small, and sometimes they play with the umbilical cord, they grab it, then the blood flow is getting a little bit lower and they're getting dizzy. They relax, they poo in the water, let go greenish water. Normally, this can happen anytime, but we do not check the color of the water of you during your pregnancy, so we don't know that. And the water is renewed normally every 2 to 4 hours. But in case it happens right away when you have a water break, we definitely would like to see what's going on and that your baby is okay. So in this case, you would not finish your dinner. So you would pay your restaurant bill and then you move to hospital So they check the baby. But honestly, I'm doing this job for so many years. I have never seen meconium color water at the beginning of a labor. So this is something what is extremely unusual. But even so, in case it happens, because things can happen, then you always go straight to hospital. If the water is clear, again, you can finish your dinner, take your time, you go home, you can have a shower, you can pack your stuff, and then see how you feel. Inform the hospital, but tell them, I don't know, in case it is 11 o'clock at the evening time, tell them, is it okay if I wait until 6, 7 a.m. in the morning? I'm feeling okay, baby's moving well, everything is okay. Inform them because they are your partner. They should be on your side. We are not working against each other. We're supporting each other that the baby is okay and that you're okay.
Okay.
Karin, would it be a specific smell or actually shouldn't smell?
No, the water actually, sometimes some people say it has a little bit a sweet smell. And I think all midwives, we know amniotic fluid has a certain smell. If in case it's not a water break, and actually this is a very smart question, it can also be urine. And this happens many times at the end, when the heavy baby, 3 kilograms, 4 kilograms, is jumping and bouncing on your urine bladder, then you also have leakage sometimes. And this can be from urine. And we can tell on the color, it is a little bit yellowish, and we can also smell that urine has a little bit of different smell. So midwife, usually we know the smell. I don't know, for pregnant women, it smells a little bit sweet. It has a sweeter taste, yes. Because
Okay.
there are also sugar in the amniotic fluid, baby drink it, so it needs to be tasty.
Yeah. And can you tell us a little bit about the mucus plug or like a bloody show and whether that is related to the start of labor or
Yeah.
really relevant?
The mucus plug is a little bit overrated, especially in Hong Kong. I don't know. The Hong Kong couples, they always focus on mucus plug, mucus plug, mucus plug. If you talk in other countries to women close to labor, they even don't think about it. They don't know what it is. So the mucus plug is actually a mucousy seal, which is sitting inside your cervix, preventing bacteria to move up towards your baby. It's like a safety seal actually. The reason why you lose it when it goes towards your due date is actually because the pre-labor contraction. Here we are back to the topic of sometimes you have also a labor contraction. They move the cervix a little bit in pulls and stretch and make it softer and move, and as more irritation through contractions we have down there, then the mucus plug gets loose, and sometimes you find a little bit like a glibberish thing, sometimes with some a little bit of a bloody show. We also see these in there, and you can lose this over a couple of days. Some women lose it in one go and then they never see it again, and some women do not even see a mucus plug. So it doesn't mean just because you see some glibberish mucousy about 10 days before labor start doesn't mean the labor is going to happen 2 or 3 days later. You can easily go overdue. So it is a sign, but not a very secure sign that or trustable sign that something is going on.
Can you share a little bit? Is there or like are there any things that surprise, especially first-time parents, maybe most about early labor?
Yes. So the thing is, most of the couple, you will be at home. So you will stay at home. So my advice for this time at home is do not try to constantly focus on check what is the timing, what is the timing, what is the timing. Try to distract your mind, because it's more you focus on your tummy and on the timing, it's more stress hormones you're going to have. And then it can happen that everything will fade off and everything, that's it. It is less. And okay, so what am I going to do? Shall I go to hospital now? So this is a little bit, you're not sure about it. So the best thing is for you, make a list from things you really enjoy and you like to do at home. I don't know, it can be let's do a puzzle. Let's buy some Lego Technic and let's build a nice birthday gift for our baby together. Listen some calm music, bake a bread or a cake, build the baby bed together. So distract your mind and not constantly focus on. As more you're focusing on something else, as more likely you're going into labor. I also did plenty of karaoke singing with my clients, and this is good. It distracts you, it makes you happy. Do a yoga on YouTube session. So keep yourself busy, and then it is more likely that it will continue because your stress hormones are down. And this is what can happen. In some cases, if you wait until your contractions are, let's say, regularly every 5 minutes, and then you decide to go to hospital, it can happen that you have during this time a little bit of bloody show. And normally we have learned, okay, when should I go to hospital if I see some blood is always alarming, and this is correct. So if the cervix starts to open up, then you also see part of the mucus block. And because the cervix gets friction, it's pulled and teased and so on, some small blood vessel, they can break, and we can see this in your vaginal discharge. And this blood is usually mixed with mucus together. So it's something slimy, a little bit bloody. And this is something what is normal. What is not normal is if I have really, like, on your day of your period, poor blood, and this is definitely then a topic you go to hospital. So it might surprise parents when they have expect the first baby that you sometimes have this slimy, little bit mucousy, bloody show, first thing. And second thing, that this is what stress out the partners many times, is that women will start to feel nauseous and even sometimes throw up. And this is, we midwives say, yay, because that's a sign that oxytocin is kicking in strongly, and it's actually a sign that it's going towards real labor and not towards pre-labor. And the oxytocin, a little bit similar to the pregnancy hormones, they make you nauseous. And you always feel this very clearly when the contraction is coming. Then
Just lost Karin. I'm sure she'll be back. She said it's currently rainy season in Lagos, Nigeria, so sometimes the internet quality suffers. But maybe until she comes back, I can tell a little bit about the two labors that I had. They both actually started in the late evening because you need to feel comfortable and secure at home for oxytocin, which is a very shy hormone and for labor to start. So you need to feel cuddly and loved and safe. So I was at home. I had watched my favorite. Hi, Karin. I'm just telling a little bit about my early labor because you disappeared, but you're on mute. Well, you have to unmute yourself. So, and then my husband had gone to bed, and then I was lying on the sofa, and then suddenly I started feeling what kind of felt a bit like a period cramp. And because it was like 11 p.m., I knew, okay, now it's time to really go to bed and get some rest. So I went into bed, and I had practiced with a lot of lovely meditations in the lead up to birth, kind of like hypnobirth. Maybe you've heard of this. And I did my meditations and went to sleep. And then eventually the labor contractions then woke me up enough for me to be like, tip at my husband's shoulder, like, hello, someone here, I'm in labor, and showed him like the app where I had started recording the contractions. So I was already like 4 hours into labor, and he was blissfully unaware next to me, and I got some really good rest before then things started to kick off properly. So yeah, that's what I did. So if you have the chance to sleep, I think sleep is a good thing to do. And then otherwise, what all these lovely suggestions that Karin gave with like all the things you love, like if you think of all the things you love, I think if it had started during the day, I would have probably started baking Christmas cookies or something that makes me happy. But yeah, so that was how it started for me. In both cases, it started late in the evening at night. And then I got a little bit more rest before things started to get going. Yeah,
And
back
then
to you,
it
Karin.
became very fast.
Yes.
Yes, sorry. What I wanted to say, in case you really are not sure what's going on and you think this might be labor or not, or whatever it is, what always is helping amazingly is either, in case you have a bathtub, so you take a very, very nice warm bath. So fill up the bathtub as nice and full as possible. Have a beautiful, dim the light, maybe some candles around. Take a nice towel inside the bathtub with you, drain it in water, cover yourself so your tummy is nicely wrapped warm, because and stay there for 50 minutes, because in case it's pre-labor, so the contraction which are actually more triggered when you are stressed, when you are tired, when you are exhausted, when you're getting nervous, then we see more pre-labor contraction. The warm bath, the warm water will calm them down and the pre-labor will fade away. In case it is labor contraction gets stronger. Relax, you are as more calm, you are as better you feel. So usually after 50 minutes, this is enough time, 15 to 20 minutes, to regulate your nerve system. And our nerve system actually tells our body, yes, you go in labor or you do not go in labor. This is why this constantly asking, do you feel something? Is the baby coming today? Is something going on? Put so much stress, and if you need to wait longer. The reason is very clear. Think back about thousands of years ago, when there were no hospital or safe places or houses, and women just had the small little cave. At nighttime, when you are in Stone Age sleeping next to your husband, close to a fireplace, you felt safe. And because the stress hormones was lower down, this is why oxytocin, with the contraction, kicked in. It was safe to give birth. If you're outside and you're hunting, I don't know, a tiger or a mammoth baby or whatever, your stress hormones are very high. That's not a safe time to give birth to your offsprings, because wild animal will grab it. So the trigger for pre-labor and pre-labor and labor is usually always our stress hormone system. And this is why I announced all these things: do a Lego technique, do a puzzle, watch a stupid Netflix movie, whatever you like to do, but write it on a so excited that you do not know, okay, so what do we do now? What do we do now? So think about it. Go out for a walk, have a warm shower in case you don't have a bathtub. Take a plastic chair into your shower, do the same thing, wrap yourself with a nice towel and sit under the warm shower and wait to reduce your stress level. And this is why Anna's advice with sleeping is amazing. Women who go to bed, and if you are able to fall asleep 100%, it is not labor yet, but it will turn into labor because your stress hormones are lowering down when you're tired and when you're sleepy. So if you can sleep, best thing to do after the bathtub.
And what, in case there's some partners listening, what can partners do that are, generally helpful during early labor? How can we support, someone in labor best?
Yes. The best thing is actually to create a beautiful atmosphere. I just talked about the stress hormones. As more relaxed, as more safe I feel, as stronger the oxytocin will kick in, and as more likely I go into labor. So beautiful is if you dim the room. If you really make sure everything is, maybe you have some nice candles around, maybe there is a music list you both love to listen during labor, have it in a calm way. Maybe you like some, I don't know, essential oils, lavender or orange flower, which is beautiful at home. Also, you can do the timing for your partner, so she will move her head and you just do it if she doesn't want to do it by herself. Block the contact from your family and friend. Do not tell them, I think labor started, we will move to hospital soon. Don't do that. This is something that puts lots of pressure and will overload the phone from your wife with messages. What's going on? How far are you? And so on. Maybe take the phone and put it on sleep mode so there are not too many people coming in and texting in. Prepare some nice small snacks. It is nice to do something together, and maybe you're the one who create this activity list, which also can be just snuggling up and cuddling. Because think about oxytocin, the hormone of love, is if we have this when we cuddle together, when we have sex, when we have an orgasm, when we are close together, then physical skin to skin contact. This increases the oxytocin. So get some idea and do it slowly. And what is not helpful is, do you think it's labor? Do you think this is going on? So shall we go to hospital? This is something what is not the best thing, because your partner, she also doesn't know what's going on. And even if she is feeling it at the moment and facing it at the moment, she has no idea. She simply doesn't know. And the time you both will be at home, it's not something your partner is in crucial pain. It's not like, meltdown, I can't do it, and I will carry her to the hospital and so on. It's completely not that. The feeling is usually more or less like a mild or a stronger period cramp. And in many cases, I know Anna is always saying it's even better than a period cramp
because I have horribly painful periods, and actually with labor, you get these amazing breaks in between. It only lasts for like, a minute, and then you're like, da da da, back to normal. And
yes. We always stay calm, always think about a contraction lasts maximum for 1 minute, not longer. Period cramps usually are for hours, and you always have until late onwards, always 2 to 3 minutes of break, and the pain during the time are not just better, they are really for a very, very long time. Just you feel completely normal, like you're sitting now and listening to our talk. So don't be afraid, don't push too much. The signal of when to go to hospital should definitely come from your wife. And supporting her would, for example, be organizing the hospital bag, which I always recommend from. And on top is a piece of paper with everything which is absolutely logical to bring it in your bag, like the door key, switch off the air condition, credit card, phone charge, and so on. But have a list there, and then this is your job to work the list of collecting the things, and maybe organizing if you're on your way to hospital. If you want to go to hospital, then you should call the hospital, and if it's in private system, make sure you request a midwife on the phone. If you go to public system, there's normally a midwife there. So then organize the call, tell them where you are and that you are on your way. Normally, do not just drive like this to the hospital. Organize the taxi, organize the Uber, make sure everything is comfortable close by, organize the bags. And these are the things which are normal, but we know you are nervous too, and you forget things. And this is why it is amazingly perfectly well to have a list to tick off things, what to do.
Let the partner go through it. Because I also had the hospital bag packed, but there's these last minute things like your phone and you have to check your Hong Kong IDs in there as well, and all these little things that,
yes, get to know the hospital bag. Your wife will say, "Can you please give me my panties out?" And where are the panties? Do where are the breastfeeding pads? All of this. I need my lip balm. So get to know the hospital bag, that you are really on handy and you can help and support, and know where's everything in your wife's bag, handbag, hospital bag.
And another question I have is, are there any signs that labor is moving faster than expected?
Yes. This is usually everything is faster once the water has gone. So whenever, let's say you start with contractions and everything is smooth, how I told you, and everything is progressing slowly, And then, and every contraction really was a labor contraction, 40 seconds to 60 seconds. And then suddenly you have a water break and the contractions are not yet, let's say, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, or 5 minutes. Then this is a signal, okay, there is way more power there. And definitely then you move to the hospital. You will not wait. You make a call and then you move. And I wanted to say something.
Yeah, I just so you mean the 6 or 5 minutes? Those are the intervals between contractions.
Yes, the intervals between contraction. Yes. So this is getting earlier. If you have the feeling the intensity is progressing quickly. So I said it's something from mild contraction to strong period cramp. But if you have the feeling, no, period cramp, I never had period cramps like this. Also a sign that you say, no, 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 maybe it's better to go to hospital. If at the beginning, if you think about the intervals are very far apart and it takes time until your body brings them closer together. Let's say from an interval, a contraction every 10 minutes to an interval every 5 minutes can absolutely last 7 hours or 8 hours. But if you realize the duration of every single contraction remains the same, but they're really getting faster, closer together, and not this couple of hours I expect, then this is also a sign you would move on earlier. But this is also many, many women have a good gut feeling saying, this is really, I have the feeling I want to go and I want to be in hospital, definitely.
Any questions from the participants? Anyone else want to ask something?
What would you suggest, for example, if you're going through all this and you're very nervous and you try to keep it calm, but especially like if it's your first pregnancy, but let's say you're now in your second pregnancy and you have a toddler now or small kid now that is there watching everything and you're there trying not to scream, or like what would you do? Or maybe Anna, you can share with us on your second pregnancy what happened to Clara, because they're there and maybe they hear you scream a little bit like for 1 minute and then they're like, okay, it's gone, and then mommy screams again. Like, how do you manage that with the siblings, especially if they're still very small?
So first of all, I know every labor is different, but I personally, I did not feel the need to scream during early labor. It felt very manageable, and I was doing my meditation, so actually it was very quiet. Maybe I was breathing a bit differently during the contraction, but I was basically just meditating, lying there. So I wasn't, and it was in the middle of the night, so my daughter Clara was asleep. But this was one of my husband's job, is to mobilize my mom, who also lives in Hong Kong, and to contact her to come over. And the plan was, if it's at nighttime, my mom would just come and, sleep on the sofa until Clara wakes, not wake her up, and we would go to hospital. And if it was going to be during the day, my mom would have come and picked her up and taken her on an outing or something. But yeah, I think it's a good idea to organize childcare. I know some people love actually to have their kids around because that makes them feel good, and I think then that's fantastic. But I personally, because I wanted to be very focused on my relaxation techniques, on my breathing, on my meditation, I think I would have not wanted her to be there because that would have distracted me. So it's really up to you. I think how you
Yeah. I think it is good to really have plan A, plan B, plan C for who is looking after the toddler. Out of my experience, have more people available and maybe also neighbors in the same building, and not just, I don't know, if you need to call your helper in. Sometimes it can be delayed, yes, Anna, and can take a time until somebody arrives at your door. So it's always good to have a backup plan. And and Lily, yes, that's true what Anna is saying. The stage you're at home, there is many women really are not in this pain that you scream. And so this is more, if you think now about a home birth and the kids are at home, then it's a different setting. The setting we have in Hong Kong, then it is most of the time, if you know this is going to go into labor, we are not going yet to hospital, but organize somebody. And the best is that somebody's staying at the same apartment, because many times labor happens at night.
Yeah, I think so.
But I think we have one question, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
How do you count an interval between contractions? Is it the beginning of one to the beginning of the next one, or the end of the to the beginning of the next one?
Yes, Christina, it is actually from the end of the contraction to the beginning of the next one. So you really count the interval where you do not feel anything. So you're feeling completely okay. So this is the way you count from the end of the contraction until the beginning of the next contraction. And yeah, the best is having a timer, having the app who is counting this for you, and then you see exactly how many seconds it lasts for. And then it's very, very clear, this is pre-labor, this is labor. And it doesn't mean how frequent they are. It's really about the duration. It's way more important. Yeah. Than the intervals, because otherwise you might see a pre-labor contraction can happen every 2 minutes. I had many calls. I remember as a midwife, then I have many calls of women call me and say, Karin, it's already, I have contraction every 2 to 3 minutes. And if you ask how long do they last for, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. This is pre-labor. This is not labor. So don't get confused, because they can, especially the pre-labor, is more you get excited. Oh, this might be labor, this might be labor. Then it switched more into pre-labor, and they can happen then very frequently. And you think, oh, this is labor, maybe it's coming soon. And then you go to hospital and say, no, service is closed, and let's see how it goes. Relax, calm down. So yeah. That's the funny part of having a baby. But don't worry, this is actually a nice thing. The trick here, actually, what Mother Nature is doing, is very funny. Normally, what you're doing is you hope, oh, I'm going into labor very soon, my baby will arrive very soon. I hope I have great and best nights so I can sleep. I'm rested. I had such an amazing sleep last night. I hope the baby's coming today. I feel so strong. 100% this baby is not coming today. Because as stronger you are, as more energy you are, as more nervous and excited you can get. So what's going to happen is that the last 3-4 nights before you're going into real labor, nature's playing a trick on you, and you have very sleepless nights. You're waking up, you can't fall asleep, you're tired, you're so drowsy. And if I talk to my clients and say, how do you feel? I said, please, I hope not today. I hope not today. Then I know, keep my phone close to me, because she's calling tonight. The reason is, when you are tired, when you're exhausted, when you're drained, you don't think about anything. You just go with one contraction at a time. And then you fall asleep maybe in the interval. Yeah, there's another contraction. And you do another one. And you're so calm and you're fluffy like a soft toy, and you're not thinking about anything. As higher your energy level towards birth is, as more I know this is pre-labor, I do not need to check the cervix. So it is many times, if you're in the mood to give your family away for adoption, including your husband, then I know labor is going to come. If you really feel, oh my God, it's this is not the right thing. So labor is something really nice, and you have many signs that it's coming the next few days, or it's usually taking time. This is why I also say, don't become too overactive. When you say, oh, okay, I have to work out, I need to go to the peak, walking up and down, then this increases the stress level. Your adrenaline is high, your cortisol is high, because your body is not understanding this is a healthy workout. Your body's understanding, oh, there's a tiger behind you, there's a mom behind you, so you're on the run. So then definitely this will not bring the baby, because I need you to be a couch potato to kick in. It's boring, it's there, and you're lying on the sofa, and then the hormones will switch. Think about, when is labor going to start? During daytime when you're active, or most of the time at nighttime when you're calm, when you're sleepy, and there's no stress hormones involved? Most likely labor starts when it's dark outside. Dim the room. When it's dark, when we have melatonin in our blood, then oxytocin is triggered.
Yeah, that's how it worked for I made Hamish watch Pride and Prejudice each time because it's such a
Okay.
cheesy romantic movie. I love it.
Yeah, lovely, 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 lovely.
But you know, not for everyone. Someone else might like something else, another movie. But
Whatever. Just distract your mind. Don't think about
yeah,
contraction. Do something else. Bake a cake.
yeah,
Sing, karaoke, do dancing, belly dancing. I don't care. Do anything, but don't focus on birth.
yeah. Okay. If we don't have any other questions, then I say thank you, Karin, for sharing your time and expertise with us
Definitely.
tonight. And yeah, thank you to everyone who joined and also for contributing your questions. And we hope tonight's session helped you feel a little more informed and confident about recognizing the start of labor and knowing when to go to hospital. Oh yeah, one thing I wanted to also say is that you can always call the maternity ward. So you know, you have a
Definitely.
number, and if you're not sure or you just have a question, you can always call them. So that don't feel shy, you know, just request, as Karin said, to actually talk to a midwife, not to the administrator. They don't know.
Actually, my understanding was that, especially in Hong Kong, you need to call first. You cannot, I mean, you could just arrive to the hospital, but usually you should call before,
In
Exactly.
most
right?
hospitals.
Yeah.
Yes, you do that.
Okay.
That's correct. Yes, Lily. Yes.
Mm.
Okay, so yeah, we really
Thank you
appreciate
so much.
spending your evening with
Thank
us,
you.
and we look forward to seeing you all at future talks. And if you liked it, please continue to share the link with your friends, and we're always happy for feedback or suggestions for future topics. And also, please follow us on Instagram, Midwife Live Talk. We have an Instagram account.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Have a wonderful evening, everyone, and take care. Bye.